Storm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Hello. Let's get this deck session started. I think we're going to continue with what we were doing last week because we had a lot of fun with that, which is where we're sort of trying to keep everything to a bit of an indie scope.
Yeah, something that an indie developer could do, because we've been still playing a lot of Mugenics.
Yep. Really
loving it. Really enjoying it. Haven't got much further than last week's episode.
Yeah.
It's funny that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just I think keeping it at that indie scope, it's adding a bit of a different
fun
feel.
limitation. Yeah, a bit of a different feel. It means we can't go too wide with it, can't go too detailed with our, the assets we need and the graphics and that sort of thing, but focus a bit more on narrative potentially, on art style, on procedural elements.
If we go absurdist, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click.
Yeah. Guitar.
Isolation.
Guitar isolation. I mean, that brings me into almost a mixed, like, music mixing thing of, like, isolating a track. But
where I sort of go is this band has been trying to write an album for the longest time. Mm. They're having trouble, so they go away for a weekend to an isolated retreat. Very much like what Foo Fighters did during their Wasting Light sessions, and to me, that is one of the best albums that they've ever actually done. The reason why it sounds so good is because they went away to specifically write all these songs.
Yeah.
And hired a house and all this sort of stuff. It's really, really quite cool. The idea of doing something like that, but then you can play up with it a little bit, like...
Yeah, so where do you go? Like, I do like that as a setup. A band who maybe they've had a fucking platinum selling first album, debut album, and they're trying to beat the sophomore slump. And so they're like, no, we got to go on this retreat. We're just going to write a fucking amazing album. So do you do it as a bit of a relationship drama then between the band members?
I think you can have a little bit of that, but it's also like what they've experienced over the past year or so has not been, like you start finding out that, when they had no money, like they experienced a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But now that they've actually got the money and all this sort of stuff, they're not actually experiencing life, and so therefore,
which I think is often the criticism of a second. People have had decades usually to sort of write in quotes their first album before they get it out there, and then within a couple of years they need to find all new ideas. So that could come into it for sure. So is one of the band members. Have they just been going off trying to experience life as much as possible to bring, the lyricist?
I like the idea of putting that sort of stuff in, like they're going down to the local town and try to get in fights and all this sort of stuff. I think we could take this in sort of a more absurdist sort of like. There's shit going down at this mansion. Like everyone in town finds out. Oh, you live in it. Holy shit, you live in the mansion.
It's like a known entity. Stuff happens in the...
It's like no one has been in that place for years because of what happened.
Not since the Foo Fighters.
Because of what happened, 20 years ago. And no one wants to talk about it and all this sort of stuff. So maybe you can do some sort of investigation in the library, and at the same time you got other people in the house investigating certain parts.
Yeah.
I like the idea of little chapters that you're playing the different characters.
I wonder if you could do... So a couple of things came to mind. Finding elements that then make their way into songs.
Yeah.
So doing it as like, oh, this was, you gain an inspiration phrase or something from, researching in the library or going down to the town and meeting the locals or seeing a fucking ghost in the attic or whatever.
I do like the idea of this being a very linear narrative thing of there are beats that you're going to find out in each part.
Sometimes literal beats. The drummer is like
you're playing
the tapping of the
all
pipes.
3 characters over over the, this, what do we reckon? Weekend?
I mean, that's pretty quick. I think it depends on how you sort of break the vignettes.
It really depends. Are we doing a 3-act structure? Are we doing multiple vignettes in each act, sort of thing? You get to the end of the first act, and okay, this is where we're sort of going.
Well, and is it that you're playing each character in each act, or is each character from the perspective of one of the what is each? Yeah, is each act in perspective of one of the characters, sort of thing? Like it's like, okay, Act 1, you're the drummer, and it culminates in you finding the perfect beat for the opening song or something, and then
I do like the idea of you're playing the vignettes of how the drummer got to here, and then you're playing the vignettes of now you're playing the guitarist coming up here, and now here's what the bassist has just gone through, and when you actually get to this place, then like the next act is all about like something that happens with one, and then what's happening at the same time with this other one, and then maybe you see two of them together, but you're only playing one of them.
Yeah, okay.
I think I definitely want there to be a certain point where you've got like there's a search happening downstairs, in the basement, and it's like whatever you do, don't go down into the basement. That's and you've just gone down in the previous vignette, and it's like, oh shit! Like
you could do some fun narrative stuff with that. It'd be interesting as well if, and I mean this is less absurdist and more just ironic in certain ways, but they think this place is haunted, and they're getting inspiration from it. But you sort of find out as you play that they've all inspired each other in these ways. It's like, oh, that knocking sound that the drummer thought was a ghost and they used for their new beat was actually the singer upstairs, fucking washing the dishes or something. Whatever,
It just so happens that them washing the dishes at the same time that like the pipes were knocking gives that.
Yeah, exactly.
Inspiration for a different type of beat. 3 to 1 quick.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was fun. Tenant.
Illusion.
A illusory tenant, or a tenant who is a magician, or
I know. I kind of like the idea of this being a magical world sort of thing. Not necessarily set in, the world of Turfy McTurf.
Turfy McTurf face. Yeah, okay. So, but like a sort of hidden magic in a contemporary world. Is that sort of what you mean? So, yeah, okay. And do you play a landlord?
Just covering shit up with your illusory magic.
You're the landlord special spell that you've got. It just explodes white paint across the surface.
But it takes you rubbing your wand for a little bit. And paint.
You jack your paint. That's a magic word. I mean, look, what's often fun about those sorts of hidden magic, contemporary sort of worlds, is the mundanity that comes with it. It's like, oh, there are people who are living the same lives as us, but they are doing it in magical ways.
Okay, I love the idea that you're the handyman in a big apartment,
floating apartment block in the sky, whatever,
and whatever it is. There is something about like going through and having what's it called, like. Oh, the hot water isn't working in my apartment. So you go in and you try to find out what it actually is.
Yeah.
Anything that you do to this, like there is an equal and opposite reaction. I like the idea of basically you using your magic on this is going to fuck up something else that you don't know what it's gonna fuck up, and it may not happen in this apartment. It may happen in like
So interestingly. I'm getting kind of Dispatch vibes of that Telltale-y kind of thing in a way where, but I think walking around in the 3D, walking simish, just 3D environment.
How many
characters?
Floors? How many floors?
I mean, it's magical. They're all pocket dimensions, aren't they?
Keeping it,
yeah,
indie scope.
Yeah.
9 apartments, 3 on each floor.
Yeah, you can do that. And I think we come up with
you're one of the apartments.
Yeah.
But or do you live in a broom closet that has been magically expanded to like?
I mean, this is the thing. Like, if that's one of your skills, you spend a long time saving up the mana for expanding closet spell.
Oh, but if you've used too much magic during the day, it shrinks.
That's a pretty fun idea. It's like, shit, I went over my limit and I can't sustain it. I can't sustain my huge studio apartment.
You come back and it's like
all your furniture's like bunched up in the middle.
You got one of those I can't remember the name of the beds that come out of the wall.
Oh, like a Murphy bed, yeah.
Murphy bed, yeah. They come down. It's like it hits the wall, so you're on an angle. And you're like,
that's a really fun little character thing to be like an ongoing joke around. I mean, it could even be like where I was going with the Dispatch thing is that again, it's sort of generally a linear story, but with some relatively heavy, not heavy branching as in a lot of branches, but it can go in two very different ways. You've always got two side-by-side stories that you can follow in a particular, episode or whatever, or on a particular day. So it could be things like, this person's complaining about the hot water. There are a couple of ways you can solve that, and they're going to have various repercussions that may or may not impact larger parts of the story. But it feels like you're making a difference then. So yeah, you could use like, a heating spell that you call up someone, you call up your mum. Oh, what was that boiling water spell that you used to use all the time when, our pipes froze or whatever?
Yeah. And you cast it directly on the pipe leading into the thing rather than fixing the boiler that is.
Yeah, no. This is the thing. You're sort of making choices between the easy, fast way, but that might cause trouble, or use more magic up, like that could be part of it, to do something that's a bit more permanent. No one else
is complaining about the hot water, so it's got to be contained to this apartment.
Yeah.
And you don't realise that what you did yesterday...
And it's like these fucking fire elementals, it's never hot enough for them.
Or, the AC is going heavy in this other room, and that's actually freezing the pipes.
Yeah,
and that's the way it's sort of.
Someone's left a spell running in this room, or whatever.
They went away on holidays. Like you haven't been into that room.
They're ice familiar. They've got a walking icicle that.
That's telepathic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's click again.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. I like that. There's a lot of ways that we can go with that.
Attract.
Telephone.
Okay, I mean, particularly in an indie scope, my mind often goes to one of these like set on the screen. Kind of games.
It's kind of like the Another Lost Phone sort of.
Yeah. So you're sort of experiencing it through the screen of the phone.
Yeah.
But, maybe it's around dating apps and stuff, like Attract makes me think.
Yeah.
Makes me think of that sort of thing. Like, what sort of story could be really interesting to tell in that sort of space? What sort of twist could we put on it as well? Like, is it something more than just a, standard relationship, romancy sort of thing?
I like the idea of bringing in like catfishing or something in.
Oh yeah,
at some stage, or some sort of one or two of them are like scammers, and
well, maybe you're catfishing someone. You're having to like Google image search and find photos that
effectively
match.
whatever you're putting down, like you're making choices, but it's like your character isn't anything like that. Like you've made choices.
You're some sort of like you're sort of a matchmaker, but you make matches by creating fake accounts to attract certain types of people. So you're having to like choose photos, choose interests, choose, basically make up these dating profiles to attract the certain type of person, and then you like secretly connect them. Basically you hand that account over to whoever it actually is that wanted to meet that type of person.
There is something about a game where the player agency, where you can choose whatever you want.
Yeah.
But your character actually has a defined, like, look and all this sort of stuff. Whatever you're choosing is what you're catfishing to these people. And I really like that it's like...
Do you ever get to see what your character is then? Or?
I think that's the reveal at the end, that it's like, you thought that you were getting catfished and all this sort of stuff, but no, your agency and your choices end up catfishing these other people, and you are nothing like the person that you...
Turns out you're a floating banana the whole time.
Exactly. Telepathic.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think there are some interesting stories to tell through a created dating profile to attract certain types of people, like lens. Obviously, you have other things happening on the phone as well, that reveal stuff about your character, or you get a call from this person who you've catfished, and it's like, oh shit, like you got to quickly download a voice changer app or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely two games here. I think there's one where you don't let the player know that you're doing this, and then you let the player, and then there's one that you do let the player know, and it's So I can definitely see both working quite well.
It just depends on what story you want to tell and how the writing,
which one is actually easier to get more of a story happening.
That's just about figuring out what the beats of the story are. There's a lot of opportunity on a phone to essentially tell via, sort of essentially environmental storytelling in a way. It's using everything that's on the phone as the story without being explicit about it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, click. Houseplant.
Coincidence. I mean, I could go with one of the other ones, actually.
Is there something better?
President.
Okay. President Houseplant. I mean, we had CEO Banana last episode.
So, what is President Houseplant in the same world? Like,
because the same world. Yeah, I mean, let's not obviously do a repeat of CEO Banana, but
no.
Is this more of a?
You got to hide that you're actually a houseplant. So you got like a puppet.
You picture like the pot just on a suit, the collar up around its pot.
See, I'm picturing like the houseplant in the Oval Office, puppeteering like
a mannequin or
a
something,
shill sort of thing. Like,
yep.
So there's the reason why all the meetings are happening in the Oval Office is because you're in the Oval Office. So
or is it just that you are a telepathic houseplant? Like maybe not physically puppeting them, but you're a telepathic houseplant. You've worked really hard to get yourself placed in the Oval Office so that you can control the leader of the free world.
The thing is, you can't control their voice, so you gotta throw your voice. Because you're a ventriloquist.
You're a ventriloquist telepathic houseplant. Well, maybe you're not a telepathic at all. You just can throw your voice, and that's the skill. And you've managed to get yourself in here by being like, oh, maybe that nice plant should go to the president's Oval Office.
Now, I've got the DLC plan.
Is it Undercover President?
No. It's the story of how the houseplant got to where they got to.
Do you have... Is it
Leader of the free world.
I do kind of like the idea, and again, I feel like it's almost just visual novel-ish, and this comes down to it just being around the writing that's very character-driven, but you know, that you as the plant who can throw your voice, you're then sort of having to convince the president. Like, you're talking to the president, but you don't, like, the president doesn't know you're a houseplant. It thinks, you know, you're whatever else. You've got different ways.
You're the voice from the vent.
Disembodied voice, yeah. And you're convincing them that you're a foreign spy, or that you're an alien, or I don't know.
Mr. President, now that you are here,
yeah, we can reveal to you
that you're just a figurehead.
Yeah, like the world is run by the lizard men. We live in the vents. But yeah, but that's very much a much more linear, you know, as I said, dialogue driven sort of thing.
You can't go to absurdist too quickly, because you'll break the president's, like, you've always got like a hold over the president. If you don't go too wacky so far, you're building up the hold.
I like the idea of this being a nicely put together just 3D space. Like the start of the game is it's a fixed camera on this plant as it's being like carried sort of through the halls in there.
In a West Wing style.
Yeah, in a West Wing style walk and talk sort of thing. And you're hearing some dialogue and stuff, and then the plant's put down, and then the whole game you can maybe zoom in and out on it, but it's like you're fixed on the plant. Like your camera is fixed on the plant. And you can sort of move around, but the plant's always in the center. You can look around the room and that sort of thing. And then, yeah, you've got different, like the president comes in and you can start talking to them.
I do like the idea of going into some actual technical details, of using a forward plus rendering from Godot and actually having that focal length. It's always focused on the plant. So therefore everything else is sort of blurred out. Yeah. But just the idea of seeing people walk into the room and sitting down and you seeing like this blurred sort of discussion happening.
That's it. Yeah. I think that could be really good. And then occasionally, like, there'll be events that happen and the plant gets moved. Like, you get moved to a different corner of the office, or you get moved to a different room, or you put in the center of a meeting room.
And you can influence. I'm thinking almost not so much direct influence over the thing, but you can almost change the mood by pheromones, maybe.
Okay. Would that then have gameplay, like, that's a way that you, essentially a dialogue choice in a sense, like a way
effectively we need to calm the mood, like the president is going too crazy right now, so you
could have some fun subtle animations as well, with just the droopiness of the leaves, or leaning, just slight leans. Not that it's prehensile in any way or particularly dexterous, but just these very slight little animation things could be really, really quite cool. And yeah, the pheromones thing, you could even do some nice color grading. That as the room gets tense, that like you bring in some red. And then if you calm it down, you can cool it off. And and again, like, mostly the only thing in focus is the plant and everything on its focal plane. But
you can hear, like,
well, I think you can zoom out. I think you can zoom out a bit, and so you can see figures in the room. But yeah, they're often blurry.
You can see them getting a bit more animated, and then you can calm things down, or depending on what's actually happening, I think you can actually have that sort of. I'm thinking kind of like a quadrant sort of feel of where the emotions are.
Yeah.
Like effectively,
like two
you've got
dimensions of
the 2 dimensions, and depending on where it ends up in the quadrants, have you gone too heavy on one type of pheromone and not far enough on the other? Like, it's going to be
honestly, if you could almost do it without the voice throwing thing. You could just do.
Oh, I'm away from that now. I'm thinking.
You're thinking it's just the pheromones. Okay.
Just the pheromones now. Like,
okay, so it's not the wacky voice throwing to sentient
that
plant anymore?
got us to where we are now. I think the pheromones make more sense from a houseplant, and it's a bit more introspective. Like,
it's very much a different game. It's not absurd as such anymore. It's more. Yeah, it doesn't even necessarily have to be the president's office then, like, to have that sort of game. But I mean, I think it
can be the president of a company, even like it.
Yeah.
There's something about this that I like the idea of being able to change the story based on what sort of pheromones are you throwing out. Are you trying to get yourself, move to another office, or get your I love the fact that the person that you're with eventually wants to be the president or whatever it is. And it's like, as you try to get them promoted, it's like you're changing the pheromones, so you're moving offices.
You start on like the intern's desk or something.
So I think that's where you can actually sort of build it up.
Yeah. It'd definitely be challenging, I think, to feel like you're having the right effect, but and there's a little bit of a disconnect there between.
There is,
because plants don't actually really have pheromones as such. There are certain things, I guess, where like attracting insects or different things. I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be realistic. I'm just sort of trying to think of the logic there of connecting it in the player's mind.
I just love the fact that it's a scientist who's walking down with this. Plant.
It could be like a genetically engineered,
and even they bump into this guy on his first day in the office. Like they're taking this plant to be incinerated. They knock into each other.
It's like a failed experiment.
They both fall to the ground. They look exactly the same because they're the same type of plant, and the scientist picks up the wrong one and takes it to the incinerator. Maybe
even as the tutorial though, you force that to happen in some way by changing the
pheromones and just confusing something at this time. And
yeah, I guess what are the options? Because obviously there's sort of, you could have like a calm to
rage
essentially. Like, I guess it depends on how much.
Or as the Naked Gun, the latest one, you can either calm people down or calm them up.
But what's the other axis? I guess is it sort of around anxiety? Well, that's sort of the other side of calm as well. Like, I'm just trying to think what those quadrants would be, and then how that would affect, like, to give the player then the most sort of predict. You want it to be somewhat predictable, right?
Yeah.
That if you make someone angry versus calm, that's like, is it maybe it's a like happy versus sad sort of thing, like, or confident versus insecure almost.
Ooh,
like,
I do like that.
Trying to think of like confident raging versus, insecure raging versus insecure
calm versus
like calm, so quite quiet versus confident and quiet, and that's sort of, you're more like, you don't say much but you're stern and you're like getting things across.
Confident and quiet, that's kind of scary.
It's almost like excited. Yeah, it could almost be like excitability versus, I don't know. Yeah, there's
it's introvert, extrovert, and calm, anxious.
Almost, or just it's almost about how much you like. I wonder if it's about like money. It's almost like a reality bending thing. It's almost like not like that in their mind they're like, yeah, I'm good at this. It's like fucking Trump, right? Like, you know, he thinks he's right all the time.
Yeah.
Versus someone who has a bit more self-reflection.
Yeah, unfortunately, the houseplant that Trump has just gone overconfidence just continuously. It's like
it's stuck on that dial.
Stuck on that dial, and it's like
it's a different experiment.
It's just narcissism. Just it's spewing out narcissism 24/7.
I do like that idea though of it just overall essentially a visual novel with no dialogue that you yourself interact with. You're just affecting the world as in the plant, the moods in the room. And that, the whole game is just focused on this plant as things happen around it and it's affecting them.
And as you go through the acts, like, you know, you're getting watered, you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you
changing
maybe
different ways and
get different ways,
flowers, or everyone's like, "What the hell is this plant?" Like, you'll occasionally get comments on like, "Oh, that's such an odd plant." Well, and it could be interesting if it grows differently based on the
moves that you've done over
time. Yeah,
like you go through a very specific one, and then you get an achievement. Feed me Seymour.
You go through a different one, and you get the achievement. Feed me semen, and that's an achievement that you don't want. That's if you really choose the wrong path.
Jesus. That's about it. All we've got time for.
Yeah. Okay. Let's leave the episode there. So if you would like to find our previous episodes online, you can go to podchaser.com/bitstorm. I haven't said that one in a while. You can go to bitstormcast.com or anywhere else that you find podcasts. And you can also go to bitstorm.games to find information about the Grant Grover anthology and all of our Game Jam games. Check them out there.
And any future games that we might do, because that's probably where that's going to happen. If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, and if you don't like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is still called Mount Defiant. Mount Defiant of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust.
Maybe you'll like one of the other songs on the album. If you don't like that one.
Like 12 of them or some bullshit 11? Like that, 11 maybe? I don't know. There's a lot. And they were all written. Like there's no
AI involved.
There's no AI and no cover song, because the cover song that we recorded never got released, nor mixed and mastered.
No, never finished it.
It's a shame, because that was fun. And I think we did a pretty cool version of it, but overkill by men at work.
I can't get to sleep.
Think about the implications. So go check out kuradust.bandcamp.com, and you can find that and a couple of other albums there for free.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And I come from the land down under.
Blowing, Manchester.